Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ESPY's WWE Bracketology Show. I am Matt Camp from WWE's The Bump, Raw Talk, and the SmackDown Lowdown, joined by my Bump co-host, Ryan Popola. Ryan, this is certainly something right up our alley.
I can't wait for this, Matt. We're going to be breaking down the best moments of the WWE year and putting those moments into a bracket that will ultimately lead to the ESPY winning WWE Moment of the Year.
And that is right. You might be wondering, how did we put this all together? Well, I'm glad you asked, because 16 of the top WWE moments from the past year were discussed amongst ESPN, the ESPYs, and WWE staffers. They've been vetted, and now, guess what? We've put them all together in a bracket that not even we have seen yet. And let's get into that right now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because what we did is we put them in the WWE's The Bump randomizer, these 16 moments. So the moments will be matched up all at random, and we're going to break them all down here today.
All right, let's talk about that right now. We don't even know what these matchups are going to be, but as you can see here, they will be placed into this bracket. Once we reveal the matchups and discuss the merits of these moments and why they deserve to move on to the next round and be the ultimate winner of the prestigious ESPY Award, you, the fans, can go out and vote for what you think the WWE Moment of the Year is. These are all amazing moments throughout the year, but Ryan, there can only be one winner.
And that's what's really cool about this, Matt, is that, yes, you and I are going to give our opinions here today, but the fan vote, the fan opinion is what matters most here. I can't wait to break this all down.
All right, now let's get into it, because it's going to be a three-part voting structure. June 28th will be the first day that you can vote on the round of 16 competitors. Then, from there, we will be able to determine which big-time moments are moving on to the quarterfinals or the Elite Eight. Fans can once again vote for these 8 moments on July 5th. And finally, on July 8th, we will have our final 4 moments, Ryan.
Can't wait for that, but some more dates you're going to want to look out for, Matt. First, you're not going to want to miss the ESPY's nomination show, which will air on ESPN on July 3rd. Then on July 19th, the ESPY's preview show will go over all of the greatest moments in sports over the last year. And finally, you aren't going to want to miss the ESPY's airing live on ABC July 20th at 8 p.m.
All right, we have explained how it's all going to go down, how you can vote, and of course what's coming in the future, but now it's the time we have all been waiting for. Let's begin to reveal these moments. And the first matchup is a great one. The Beast Incarnate and one of the greatest WWE superstars ever, Brock Lesnar, winning the Royal Rumble, taking on one of the most exciting young superstars in WWE, Bianca Belair, winning her second consecutive championship opportunity at WrestleMania, besting Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And Ryan, let's break both of these down, starting with the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
No! The Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar is pissed off after what happened earlier tonight.
On a night that he had actually lost the WWE Championship, Brock would make a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble, facing Bad Bunny and even somebody faced in the past in the Rumble, Drew McIntyre.
What's cool about this is you never expect Brock Lesnar versus Bad Bunny, and I mean, this is a moment in and of itself, so much history between Brock and Drew. But Matt, what's going to be a running theme between all of these moments? The surprise factor, right? No one could have seen this coming that night. I think that's what makes for a great WWE moment.
Obviously a big year and a big moment for Brock Lesnar, but someone else who had a big year and a big moment. Let's move on to the other half of this matchup, and Bianca Belair winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Now, this goes all the way back, of course, to the last year at SummerSlam when Becky Lynch would return. And we know that Bianca needed that revenge, needed to get this moment right here. And that KOD was the end of a chapter for these two and a big moment for Bianca Belair.
100%. And so much of what was being talked about on social after this, the two-peat for Bianca, 2 years in a row of massive WrestleMania moments, still very early into her WWE career. It's a legacy that she's building that's already unlike a lot of others in history.
And that's early on in the year. Brock at the Royal Rumble, Bianca at WrestleMania. I don't know how you can really differentiate between the two. Maybe it comes down to who you're a bigger fan of. Next up, it's the next randomized bracket matchup here. We don't know what it's going to be. Let's take a look at what's coming up next in our ESPY's WWE bracket. And that will bring us, look at this classic matchup. And wow, how about this one here, Ryan? You can't see him, but at this night you did. I know Pat McAfee couldn't find him. John Cena making a shocking return at Money in the Bank. And then that will take on, we were just talking about the Royal Rumble. How about when Ronda Rousey won the Royal Rumble? What a pair of matchups here and all-timers. Ryan, a lot of these amazing matchups are all about the moments. And certainly John Cena returning at Money in the Bank was the epitome of a moment.
Now the whole world can acknowledge me.
What? No way! Oh my God! Oh my God! Cena's here! Wow!
Too low! Stupid! It's been too
It was somewhat of a pattern that Roman Reigns would get challenged by his next opponent after beating an opponent. He did not see John Cena coming, but we all got to see John Cena return and confront Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
Yeah, listen, so we talked about the surprise factor. That's what makes a great moment. Obviously, that's in spades here, Matt, but the electricity in that building that night was unlike anything I've heard in a very long time. That just gives me so many chills.
A lot of GOAT talk between those two men. How about GOAT talk on the women's side? Because what about what happened at this year's Royal Rumble? Ronda Rousey not only returning to win it, but doing 4 months after having a child and becoming a mother. Let's take a look at the Royal Rumble and Ronda Rousey's victory.
Who shall enter the fray next? Yes! The icon of combat sports! The Rowdy One is back!
At the event, she made her WWE debut, of course. Ronda Rousey returns and has quite a field to get through of past, present, and future WWE superstars. She returns, Ryan, and she wins the Women's Royal Rumble.
Which is massive in and of itself. We hadn't seen Ronda in almost 3 years in a WWE ring, coming off the birth of her child, coming off that 3-year layoff. She looked as sharp as ever. An incredible moment to kick off the year.
Is it going to be Ronda Rousey winning the Women's Royal Rumble in her return, or the return of John Cena? That is for you to decide. But that brings us now to our next randomized matchup. What will it bring? All right, we've seen these 4. We move on to this matchup here. WWE welcoming back the fans last year for Stone Cold Steve Austin in his home state of Texas, stunning absolutely everyone, Ryan. Listen, it was great to have fans back, and when fans got to see Stone Cold stun everyone at WrestleMania, that was also all part of the WWE experience. But we know what everybody has gone through and what it meant for us here in WWE and our WWE superstars to not have the WWE Universe back. So the moment that they returned will live forever.
For the first time in 70 weeks, SmackDown welcomes the WWE Universe live. Damn, we sure have missed you. The boss is here. Please welcome the chairman of WWE, Mr. McMahon. Where the hell have you been?
That amazing night at Friday Night SmackDown, and Mr. McMahon, of course, kicking things off, welcoming the WWE Universe back. However, there's more of Mr. McMahon in this matchup because on night 2 of WrestleMania, well, he ran into an old friend named Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stunning everybody, as you put. Maybe, potentially, honestly, the greatest stunner ever here to Austin Theory. It's in the discussion. And what was amazing about both of these moments, the crowd is such an integral part of this, but especially the relationship with legends like Mr. McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon back in a ring together just felt right. Of course, needed the moment of the universe coming back, which led us months later to this WrestleMania and that stunner. And Pat McAfee,
poor guy.
who had won that night at WrestleMania, well, he might have had the most memorable moment of his life besides getting married, is taking that stunner right there from Stone Cold Steve Austin
What a trooper.
and finding a way to wash away the pain like only Pat can. Once again, like you say, it's about the universe coming back to make those moments and make that sound, but then those moments happening because the universe is around.
That's what we do. That's why we do what we do. Both incredible
You
moments.
get to vote on that one. Hey, you could be voting for yourselves, the WWE Universe, or of course, it's okay to vote for Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. Let's go back though to the randomizer because we need to know what our next matchup is going to look like here. The final matchup on the left side of the bracket. This is Roman Reigns becoming the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, taking us back to WrestleMania when he defeated Brock Lesnar, and at that very same WrestleMania one night before, the return of the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, to WWE. It's WrestleMania versus WrestleMania, and it's always too jam-packed for one night, and these two moments, amazingly, are a first-round matchup in our SB's WWE bracketology. Yeah, and randomizer, come on here.
Did us no favors.
Those could be number one seeds on both sides of the bracket. But let's go back to that night. Let's go back to night 2, WrestleMania, winner take all. You had the then WWE champion Brock Lesnar facing the Universal champion Roman Reigns. Not the first time they met, Ryan, but the time with the biggest stakes of all in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania.
The biggest match in WrestleMania history with absolutely stakes that couldn't have been more massive. For Roman Reigns to do what he did that night, you talk about legacy earlier with Bianca Belair, this is literally the biggest legacy-making moment that you can possibly have. There's no way to overstate it. It's massive.
WrestleMania Sunday ended that way with Roman Reigns standing tall with the Universal and WWE Championships. However, WrestleMania Saturday gave us a surprise return and a mystery opponent named by Mr. McMahon for Seth freaking Rollins, and a moment that will live in WWE and WrestleMania history as WWE welcome back Cody Rhodes.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Surprise returns will always be thought about forever in WWE, but at WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes coming out as the opponent for Seth freaking Rollins, I was in the building for that, from the Cody Vader coming to WWE, seeing the American Nightmare graphic pop up, Mike Rome's unbelievable announcement, and Cody himself telling us right here in the studio a couple months ago, you know, I was kind of in a trance until I got halfway down there. All of these things make historical moments. That's a tough matchup to beat right there.
It's a seismic moment in our industry, Cody Rhodes coming out of that WrestleMania and everything that you said along with it. Also, everything he's done since it provided so many great subsequent moments. Really, really tough call here between these two.
These could both be number one seeds, but they face off. But however, before we move on to the right side of the bracket, let's take a look again at what we have revealed so far. Here is the bottom half of that first bracket. WWE welcoming back the fans, taking on Stone Cold, stunning everyone at WrestleMania. And then that entire left side here, we just talked about Roman Reigns, of course, at WrestleMania, and Cody. You go back up to the top, Brock Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble, and everything that has gone on since then. You have John Cena's return. You have Ronda Rousey winning. Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship win at WrestleMania. That is just half of the bracket, everybody. half of the bracket. So now that we have seen the left side, we got to go back to the randomizer because it's time to reveal our first matchup on the right side of the bracket. Let's go up to that top corner. What's it going to be here? Oh boy. Going back to late last year, Big E cashing in his Money in the Bank contract and becoming WWE Champion. And then once again, back to WrestleMania with The Miz turning on Logan Paul after they had teamed together against the Mysterios. Ryan, we start with the Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yeah.
When you win that briefcase and have that contract, you know that moment can be coming. We know the stats. It's over 85%. It's right in that area. But Big E called his shot on this night a full day earlier.
He literally Babe Ruthed it just even longer than Babe Ruth did. Again, we talk about energy of the crowd. Everyone was still so shocked, even though Big E let us know that this was happening. It's an all-time Raw moment, and when you think about the history of all-time Raw moments, that's quite the statement, but it truly, genuinely is.
When you think about what Big E has gone through to get here, we know about Kofi Mania. The hope was always that it would happen for everyone. Xavier Woods had become King of the Ring. We knew that was going to be a moment for the New Day. But then for Big E to become WWE Champion. You can see the crowd reaction, even though they knew he was going to come out and cash in. When that 3 count hits, and you see Woods and you see Kofi out there, it's as special and a reel of emotion as you will ever see. Which does not bring us to the next moment whatsoever, because Logan Paul made his WrestleMania debut in ring for a match, tagging with The Miz, taking on the Mysterios, and they looked great. We talked to them that day on the bump, and they were such a cohesive team, as the Mysterios are because they share blood. But The Miz, after teaching Logan Paul a lot of things, he didn't teach him everything.
No, listen, like you said, Matt, these are two very different moments. This is not a Roman Cody type situation. These are on opposite ends of the spectrum. But this did cause massive ripple effects, not just in WWE, but in pop culture overall. And I think that is something to keep in mind. Granted, of course, it's in the fans' hands, but this was a really big deal in a lot of different pockets of the world.
Do you like the shock factor of what happened to Logan Paul, or do you like the absolute unbridled enjoyment of Big E cashing in and becoming WWE Champion for the very first time? That is for all of you to decide, voting on that matchup. But we got to go back to the randomizer right now because it's time to find out what is next in our ESPYs WWE bracketology. Oh yes, we did reference this earlier on the left side of the bracket, but Becky Lynch's return. Last year at SummerSlam, where she would go on to defeat then SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair, or of course, Undertaker getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Shocking moments are all over this bracket.
Absolutely.
But right now, when we go back to SummerSlam, maybe the most shocked person in Las Vegas was Bianca Belair. Let's take a look.
What? Wait a minute. No, it can't be. Yes, one of the biggest stars on the planet. This is what Las Vegas wanted. The man is back. Becky Lynch is here.
Everything that led up to that moment was not revealing the moment. That was the whole part of this. And Bianca went from, this is cool, I'm excited, to, wait a minute. 30 seconds later, after that bell rings, I don't have my championship, which is all over my gear, and Becky Lynch is back, and now she's the champion.
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about surprises, this was right up there for the combination of those things you just said. But also, again, like I mentioned earlier, think of everything that this moment ended up giving us. We talked about it in the left side of the bracket. Yeah, thank you, randomizer. You really cannot talk enough about how big of a deal that was and how big of a deal it became in the months that followed.
The ripple effects, of course, with all of that, and that maybe was one of the Hall of Fame moments that we'll talk about in the career of both Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. But when you got to talk about Hall of Fame, we know what went down this year at the Hall of Fame. For a man who didn't speak very much over the last 30 years, we learned a lot about not only The Undertaker, but the man behind the Phenom when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Thank you for taking this journey with me over the last 3 decades. You can rest assured that now that The Undertaker has entered the WWE Hall of Fame, that I will rest in peace. Thank you.
You're someone who likes your inspirational quotes and speeches. Is there anything better than what you heard there from The Undertaker?
No, it was incredibly special that night, and there were so many even smaller moments within that. Him telling Mr. McMahon, "I love you."
Yeah.
Mr. McMahon saying it back. You could hear it. It was really a night unlike any other in WWE history, if I'm being honest.
Amazingly, that night could turn into an ESPY, but it's up to you to vote. Is it going to be The Undertaker getting inducted to the Hall of Fame or Becky Lynch's return and championship victory last year at SummerSlam? That is just one matchup. We're not done with the right side of the bracket because the randomizer still has more to give us right now. There's the top half of the right side. We have two more matchups to go, starting with this one right here. Oh, this is fun. Edge defeating Seth freaking Rollins to end their rivalry at Hell in a Cell at Crown Jewel, the third and final act in their unbelievable rivalry last year. Or one of the most fun moments I have ever seen. Wee Man body slamming Sami Zayn during a WrestleMania match that will never be replicated and will live on forever. Two very different moments with very different motives. It's either Hell in a Cell or Wee Man. That's what the randomizer has given us. Maybe my favorite matchup just based on how different they are.
It could not be more polar opposites. I don't know where to start, but I mean, you genuinely saw one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches in history between Edge and Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, this match, and I mean, think about that statement in of itself. All the Hell in a Cell matches, and all the innovation that this match gave us,
Both
Matt.
men had been in Hell in a Cell before and have been through all kinds of different matches, and we know that stretchers were involved and everything before this match that led to this match and this moment. And I think maybe not now, but maybe 5 or 10 years down the line when they can both speak of this, not thinking about this rivalry, they'll both be very proud of this matchup. And Edge there using a little bit of Seth's medicine against him, getting that victory, and how much changes for both of those men since that happened.
And again, that's almost something to keep in mind when voting on it well. But yeah, truly and genuinely one of the most innovative Hell in a Cell matches in history when with a quarter century into Hell in a Cell. That's really a big statement.
We move past that to something completely different because we got to go back to WrestleMania just a few months ago. Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn, well, they trade a lot of barbs and phone numbers in the air and all kinds of pranks. The pranks, I thought they'd come to a close, but they got ratcheted up that much more by Johnny Knoxville and the Jackass crew, including the moment when Sami Zayn found out there's everything under the ring, including a Wee Man. I've never seen Michael Cole this excited in 25 years. Pat McAfee's always this excited, but all of Dallas was excited when Wee Man, as Pat said, was throwing the punches in bunches to Sami Zayn. And then there was a callback to WrestleMania 3.
At worst, this is the second best body slam in WrestleMania history. Who would have thought Wee Man would even be in that glow? Oh, I can watch this.
And he held on.
It was a stalling body slam. Rare to see such a thing, and Wee Man gave it to us. Matt, you said it earlier. This is as fun a match as I've ever seen, as fun as I've had ever watching sports entertainment in my life. That counts for something, if not everything.
That was felt from everyone, maybe not so much Sami Zayn, but the whole Jackass crew, Pat McAfee, Michael Cole calling it, us watching, whether it be there in Dallas or at home. And I think we'll be talking about that one for a very long time. Maybe the most fun match and one of the most fun WrestleManias. Those are two very different moments because Edge and Seth freaking Rollins in Hell in a Cell wasn't fun.
Not the same.
But it was final. You get to now vote on that. We have one more randomized matchup to reveal. Here we go, the bottom of the right side of the bracket. And we've talked about some returns. One happened at SummerSlam we talked about earlier. Here was the other one at the end of SummerSlam last year. Brock Lesnar returning to confront Roman Reigns. And then, of course, he's been mentioned from WrestleMania Sunday, but WrestleMania Saturday, Stone Cold successfully returning to the ring at WrestleMania against Kevin Owens. Brock Lesnar hadn't been seen in quite some time. In fact, since he had lost the WWE Championship at a previous WrestleMania. But in the pattern of Roman Reigns defeating opponents and defending his title, another one stepped up. And it was the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Roman Reigns took John Cena's best shot. Just like what? Oh my God! Let's go! Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Brock is here! Yes! Brock Lesnar is back in WWE! Here comes the beast! Here comes the beast!
I don't think Brock Lesnar really cared much in the past about what the WWE Universe thought of him. But on this night, they were fully behind him. He had a different look, which shocked a lot of people. And I think he genuinely enjoyed the reaction he got from the WWE Universe.
You can see the smile on his face. Also, a low-key part of this that I love, Pat McAfee with one of the calls of the year, the alpha male of our species, Brock Lesnar, which has now become a weekly part of the WWE vernacular. There is so much to love about that moment.
And we know what that kicked off, and we talked about that earlier, months and months and multiple matches culminating in a WrestleMania match where winner takes all. But that's on the left side of the bracket.
We're over here now.
Let's get to the other half of this matchup right now. It's the last moment we're going to talk about. We didn't know what it was going to be. We knew Stone Cold was going to show up on the KO show back in Dallas. That was good enough for a lot of us, Ryan. We got the ATV, but then it turned into the match. 19 years after having his last real match, we got Stone Cold in Texas against Kevin Owens.
You know what I think about Matt? Like, first of all, I'll be honest. I'm not the one voting. This may be my favorite moment on the list. I remember you and I talking about after he kind of laid down the challenge to Kevin Owens a few weeks before this, you and I in the office saying, what's this going to be? Do we think he can still do a match? Will there be a match? The intrigue around it. We were all excited to see Stone Cold in his hometown at WrestleMania. For it to be a match, for it to be this match, was incredible.
A match that went all over AT&T Stadium, and Stone Cold leaving the night with his hand raised high. Kevin Owens' back is still hurting from that one. So we're talking about the return of Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, or Stone Cold returning to the ring victorious
First-round
after
matchup.
a KO. That's a first-round matchup. Randomizer is not making life easier for you at home with the voting, but now you know what the bracket looks like. The bracket is set. Look at what this bracket looks like, because you have very difficult decisions to make, and you got to vote on one particular moment. But that's what makes this fan vote so special. This is legitimately the will of the WWE and SB Universe to pick the winner.
Absolutely. And for everyone watching this going, well, how can I vote? This is how. June 28th will be the first day that you can vote on the round of 16 competitors. From there, we will be able to determine which big-time moments are moving on to the quarterfinals or the Elite Eight. Fans can once again vote for these 8 moments on July 5th. And finally, on July 8th, we will have our final 4 moments.
All right, just a reminder, you do not want to miss the ESPYs nomination show that is coming your way on ESPN on July 3rd. And then, of course, we move on to July 19th. The ESPYs preview show will go over all of the greatest moments in sports over the last year. And finally, you don't want to miss the ESPYs airing on ABC July 20th at 8 p.m. That's going to do it for us, Ryan. The ESPYs bracketology and WWE bracket is now set. The randomizer will not make life easy for any of our fans voting at all.
Thank you, randomizer, I guess, but 16 amazing moments. I can't wait to see what happens here.
It is up to you to make it happen. What will be the greatest moment from WWE in the last year? Go out there and vote. For Ryan Paula, I'm Matt Camp. This has been the ESPYs WWE bracketology.